Hello everyone, Mr. B coming at you with the Unification of China Quiz Study Guide Review. So the Unification of China Quiz is our first quiz of Semester B, and it's going to be an important one because the way the gradebook works is quiz and test points dominate the gradebook. They're way more important than quick check points, and up until this point you only have quick check points in the gradebook. So once you take this quiz, those quiz points are going to overshadow those quick check points, and basically your social studies grade is going to mirror your quiz grade for the most part. So you want to do a good job because this quiz is going to be reflected in your grade more than any other quiz. Because once you start taking other quizzes and tests, you kind of have to factor all of the previous ones in. Right now, this will be the only one, so it's going to be important. And then once you take the other quizzes and tests, it all kind of even out. But for right now, this one's going to, have a big impact on your grade. So remember, if you don't get the grade you want on the quiz or test, you can always do corrections. With corrections, anytime you score under 80% on a quiz or test, you can do corrections, and you can re-answer the questions you missed to earn back lost points. Corrections are the best way to improve your grade. So really, nobody should have under an 80% on a quiz or test, because if you score under 80% on a quiz or test, you should be doing corrections to get your grade up. So let's get to the study guide. So we're going to start at the message board. We're going to click on study guides right here, and we're going to click on the Unification of China Quiz Study Guide right there. This will open up the study guide, but of course this is my copy. You need to make a copy of the guide for yourself. So if you have Gmail and prefer if you have Gmail and you prefer Google Docs, you're going to go to File, Make a Copy. I would suggest putting your name in here, kind of replacing the copy of with your name. Hit OK. This will open the study guide in a new window. That'll be your study guide. That'll be your copy. It'll save to your Google Drive. So again, if you have Google Docs, or if you want a Google Docs version of the study guide and you have Gmail, go to File, Make a Copy. If you do not have Gmail, or you just prefer Microsoft Word, that's totally fine. You can go to File, Download Microsoft Word. When you click that, it'll download the study guide to your computer. You can open it, type in it, edit it, save it, just like you would any Microsoft Word document. So once again, File, Download Microsoft Word. All right. So hopefully you made a copy. Remember, all study guides can be turned in for extra credit, whether it's Google Doc, Microsoft Word. Once you've completed it, send it to me, and you can get extra credit on the quiz or test that it goes with. So let's get to the questions. Unification of China Quiz. Question 1. How did the Qin dynasty standardize transportation? To standardize something means they kind of made it all the same. So what they did is they standardized the carriage axles so all the axles were the same length. An axle is that piece that goes between the wheels of a cart or a carriage or a wagon, or even today on a car, and it kind of connects the wheels together with the rest of the car. So what they did was they made sure that all of those axles were the same length, meaning all carts, wagons, carriages were the same width. So that meant they could all fit on the roads. They didn't want to have traffic, right? If you had one guy had a cart that was, the axle was super long, his cart would be super wide, and then it would, it wouldn't fit on the road, or maybe it takes up 2 lanes of the road or something like that, right? So they want to have traffic moving smoothly. They want to make sure that everybody can use the roads and that the goods and information is passed easily. So they made sure that everybody had the same size axles. Everybody had the same size carts, wagons, carriages. That way everything can move on the roads and fit on the roads smoothly. Question number 2, which river was important in Chinese history, and what made agriculture possible in the river valley? That would be the Huanghe River, also known as the Yellow River. And that river is important because that is where Chinese civilization began. So with the river, there is this material called loess. Loess is a dust-like material that blows in from the Gobi Desert. It mixes in with the water. When it does that, it creates a mud, because you mix dirt and water, it creates mud. And the loess is a yellow color. So when it mixes with the water, it creates a yellow mud. That yellow mud turns the entire river yellow, which is why they call it the Yellow River. That loess also puts nutrients into the soil. So the soil around the river is really fertile, and you can grow crops in it really well. So the loess not only turns the water yellow, but it makes it so that the soil, the land around the river, is really great for agriculture. Question number 3, what is Taoism, and why should you act like water? So according to Taoist teachings, people should act like water because they believe water is stronger than rock. Water goes with the flow, whereas rock is static. It stays in place. Water kind of flows, goes with the flow. It adapts, it adjusts. But not only that, they say water is stronger than rock because if you think about it, if you throw a rock into the river, what's going to happen to the river? Nothing. The water's going to be fine, the river's going to be fine, the rock's not going to do anything. But the rock, if you throw a river into the water, the rock will change. If you ever seen a river rock or pulled a rock out of the water, it's probably smooth and nice and smoothed down and kind of grinded down. That's because the water does that. Over time, when a rock is in water, it'll smooth it down. The current smooths it down, sands it down, grinds it down till the rock is nice and smooth. So in that way, water is stronger than rock because water over time breaks rock, it grinds rock down, whereas over time rock does not do anything to water. That's kind of the idea behind the act like water, right? Go with the flow, be strong, play the long game, I guess. So yeah, kind of interesting idea. Number 4, what were oracle bones and how were they used? So oracle bones are really interesting because they were used to predict the future. So what you would do is you'd take an animal bone, or you would take more often a turtle shell, and you'd write some words on it. And then you'd heat that shell up, and where the shell cracked because of the heat, then you would predict the future based on the cracks. So let's say you take a turtle shell and you write, will we have good crops this year? You heat the shell up, the shell cracks, and the crack goes right through the word crops. They might say that's a bad sign because the crack cut the word crops in half. It kind of destroyed that word. That's a bad sign. We might have bad crops this season. It would be something like that, right? You would use the cracks to predict the future. Interesting kind of ancient idea. Number 5, what was the mandate of heaven and who did it give power to? The mandate of heaven gave power to rulers and kings, and the idea was that the mandate was given by gods or the heavens to the rulers. And basically it says that they have the right to rule, right? It's basically the idea that God or the heavens gave permission for that person to be the king, to be the ruler. That doesn't come, they can't just do anything. The kind of idea behind the mandate of heaven is that those people are then responsible for taking care of the people of China and taking care of the country, taking care of the civilization. And if those rulers and kings don't take care of the people in the country, then they can lose that mandate, right? God will take that permission away from them. You no longer have permission to be ruler, and then they'll have to find a new ruler, right? So the mandate of heaven is the idea that gods give permission to the rulers to be the ruler, and if they don't follow the mandate, they can lose it, right? Question number 6, what is legalism? Legalism is an idea that you need harsh laws and punishments to maintain societal order. So basically it was the idea that, in order to keep society running harmoniously, running peacefully without a lot of chaos and crime and, crazy stuff happening, you need to have really strong laws, make it very clear what people can do and what people can't do, very strong, harsh laws with harsh, strong punishments so that people are it's very clear what you can do and can't do. And if you break those rules, you're going to be punished severely. So nobody wants to break the rules or step out of line because the punishments are so severe, right? So that's the idea behind legalism. Question number 7. How did the development of iron strengthen the Zhou dynasty and how did it weaken it? So iron is a form of metal. It's kind of stronger than bronze, which was the previous metal they used. And with iron, you can make really strong weapons and tools. So it helped the Zhou dynasty because they had better tools, right? They had better tools, meaning that if you have better tools, you can do a better job, meaning you get a better product. So with crops are concerned, these better tools let them work faster, more efficiently, and get more yield from the crops, right? They got more out of the crop. So it helped them with, agriculture, helped them get more food, work more efficiently. But at the same time, iron was also, relatively easy to make and widespread, so that people also made weapons with it. And now everybody in China had really strong, kind of up-to-date, modern weapons, right? Everybody had these really strong iron weapons. And that led to a lot of fighting. It led to a period called the Warring States period, where all these different kind of, people are fighting each other because now they all have really good weapons. Everybody's got a good weapon to use, and now they are all fighting. So it was both good and bad. Iron, helped them out because it gave them better tools, more crops, but it also weakened them because it led to more fighting. Question number 8, why was the Great Wall built? Well, the Great Wall was built because you had these conquering nomadic tribes in the north of China. And what these tribes would do is they didn't really have a kingdom or live in any one place. They would go to a village and conquer it. Eat all the food, live there until there was nothing left, take whatever they wanted, steal everything, and then they would go to another village and keep doing that over and over again. And they would just, that's how they lived. They didn't have their own kingdom. They just would conquer other peoples and take their stuff. So that kept happening in China, right? These nomadic people would come down from the north, conquer Chinese villages and civilizations, and they needed a way to protect themselves. So the people of China decided to build the Great Wall. They built the wall along their northern border to keep these nomadic conquerors out, to keep these people out of China, to protect the people of China from being conquered. Number 9, define filial piety and why is it the source of all virtue in Confucianism. So this is kind of an interesting idea. Confucius was a guy who believed that China was losing their way. Chinese society was losing their way, losing their tradition, and that the best way to kind of fix Chinese society was to go back to the traditional way of things and to take care of the relationships, meaning the way people treat each other. So the idea of filial piety is the idea that children should honor and respect and be devoted to their parents. And it was more than like that's the source of all virtue, because Confucius believed that if you take care of all relationships, and he believed there was 5 important relationships: the relationship between a ruler and the subjects, the father and son, husband and wife, siblings, and then friends. The idea was, listen, if sons honor, respect, and take care of their fathers, society will be better. If subjects honor and respect their king and rulers, society will be better. If friends honor and respect each other, society will be better. If people honor and respect their elders, society will be better. And that was kind of the idea behind Confucianism, right? Is that it's all about relationships and how you kind of treat people, and you should honor, respect, especially people who are before you, or who have a higher position than you, right? This guy is your boss, you should respect him. If this person is your grandparent and they're older than you, you should respect them. And in that way, society will be better. So number 10, order the following events beginning with the earliest. So the first one is that they began conquering more area, right? The Zhao expand their lands through conquest. Now they have this big, giant territory, right? Now their Zhao are in control. Next thing, what they do is, if you have a big area to control, you have to have people in charge who you trust. So the king would put his family members in charge. He would say that, hey, listen, I'm going to put my cousin, you're going to be in charge over there. My brother's in charge over there. And that way, you have kind of control over your empire. What eventually happened, which was number 3, is that they kind of lose those relationships, right? People, your uncle, whoever's in charge way on the other side of your empire, starts, he thinks, hey, I'm in charge. Why should I listen to the king? I'm in charge over here. And that relationship kind of breaks down. And then eventually what happens is those people kind of team up with other people and they overthrow the king, right? So eventually you expand your empire, which is number 1. 2, you put people in charge you trust. Sadly, you probably shouldn't have trusted those people, because what happened with number 3 is those relationships begin to break down. Those people kind of get ideas. They want power for themselves. And then 4, they cut deals and team up with nomadic peoples, and they overthrow the king. So it's kind of a process of how the Zhao kind of expanded and lost their empire. And with that, that is the study guide. So I hope you learned something. Good luck on the quiz. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a good day, everybody.